Hi there, it's real estate coach Josh Phegan on behalf of the Elite Agent magazine. We wrote a specific article about technology and trends and what it takes to be a great real estate agent. What I want you to think about is the technology that you've got actually helping you or hindering you. And really what you want to think about is that systems are everything. Now let's go back to one really simple idea. 1972, my grandpa Arthur Phegan walks in to the local news agency and buys 12 exercise books. He labels 1 January, 1 February, 1 March, you get the idea. And every month what he'd do is he'd come to the month it was, he'd open up the exercise book, and inside of that book he'd have a list of all of the people that had ever settled on a property with him. So that's all the people that actually bought a property in that month. So then what he would do is he'd ring every single one of them, and that would be what we call our annual checkup, where we get on the phone, we say, "Hey Hannah, it's Josh calling, you've been in your house another year, you're now due for your annual checkup." That's where we pop out, give you a bit of an idea on the value, so then you can make some better decisions for the future. So what ends up happening after that is that you can imagine that he runs a great loyalty program, and that then leads to more business more often. Now, one of the great challenges inside of real estate businesses is that language really blocks us. And what we think about is that then we go and have a look at anniversaries. How do they actually happen at a technology level? Could you go into your database and say search, now go and find me all of the people, for example, that have bought a property off me during the month of November. And now the challenge is that you can't actually do that, because now you've got to go and search November 16 and then 15 and then 14 and then 13. And it just takes so much time that you never end up doing the work. Even worse than that, you see anniversaries come up spread amongst all of these other tasks that are set on the inside of that database, and you log in one day and you're like, oh my God, I've got 300 tasks, and all of a sudden you stop doing the work that actually generates the business. Now I'm going to say something pretty outlandish, that I reckon that the majority of Australian consumers have probably bought their home through a real estate agent, which means that if that real estate agent actually had a loyalty program, then none of us would be fighting for this right now business. We'd actually be in the business of working with the loyal client. And people that make lots of money in this industry are those that actually have return customers. So what you want to consider at a technology level is it simple? Is it in a position that it's scalable? Is it something that's easily teachable? And most importantly, does it get the job done? And if it doesn't get the job done, then we stop using that particular piece of technology. Now, a lot of people are pretty keen on using, say, an iPad, for example, in a listing presentation. I'm not. Why? Because I know that I want to minimize the amount of technology, because then I minimize the amount of challenges that actually happen throughout the course of that presentation. If I can use a pen and a pad, I'm going to use that all day long to actually draw it out. Now, it is also important that when you look at your technology, is you look at how it plays with other people in the technology space, which is something that they call an API. That's something called Application Protocol Interface, and basically what it means is it does this particular piece of software talk with this particular piece of software. Now, there are some great apps that you can find online, including ones like Zapier, so Z-A-P-I-E-R. And what it does is it talks between systems. So does it do this to this? So if this particular piece of software, for example, does this thing, then it will actually communicate that to this piece of software. And that might be about syncing contacts to things like your mobile phone or putting them into your Gmail account. It might be simple things like making sure that when there's a calendar appointment booked in for a photo shoot, that then posts it inside of a Slack channel. So there's lots of different things that you want to consider at a technology curve. But what I know is that what are the things that aren't working on the inside of your business, you want to start thinking, is that a person or a system? I really hope that you've enjoyed our article, and I hope that you're enjoying reading the Elite Agent magazine. I look forward to seeing you in the next edition.